Hey, baseball way lifers, how you doing? How's life treating you? Hopefully good. You guys been participating a lot in the group, and I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Isn't that Lawrence Wilkie used to say thank you, thank you, thank you? Well, anyway, it means a lot to me. And you know what else means a lot to me? The fact that you guys, when I post these questions, they're so much fun. And one of the reasons why they're fun is I get to hear everyone's varying opinions on different subjects. Well, one of the questions we always ask in baseball way of life is when I say a certain player, what's the first thing that pops up into your head? Well, the other day I asked, when I say John Olerud, what's the first thing that pops into your head? You guys had a lot of great answers. But before we get into those answers, let us talk about John Olerud's career. And then we'll get into everything that you guys said. Now, John Olerud, to me, was one of the most underrated players of his generation. Now, he was born August 5th, 1968, and many of you out there probably know him as Johnny O. He played his career in the major leagues as a first baseman from 1989 through 2005. He was quite an impactful player. Probably got his most notoriety playing for a Toronto Blue Jays team that won 2 consecutive World Series in 92 and 93. He was a big cog in that team. And he also played for some good ball clubs with the Mets, the Mariners, the Yankees, and the Red Sox. Now, the thing we know about John Olerud, he was a patient, productive hitter throughout his career. He won the American League batting title in 1993 and finished up as a runner-up for the National League batting title in 1998. Olerud was an excellent defensive first baseman, one of the best ever to play at the position, and won 3 Gold Glove awards in 1999. And who remembers that Sports Illustrated cover titled "The Best Infield Ever"? And who would comprise that best infield ever? It was the 1999 Mets, with Olerud at first, Edgardo Alfonso at second, Ray Ordonez at short, and Robin Ventura at third. Some of the best to play their respective positions. Ordonez was a marvel at shortstop. Now, Johnny O was born to Linda and John E. Olerud. John E. Olerud was a physician, dermatologist, and baseball player from Lisbon, North Dakota. John Olerud's father played college baseball for Washington State Cougars. Notice the trend here. As a catcher, and was the captain of the team which advanced to the semifinals of the College World Series in 1965. He was an All-American. He was selected by the California Angels in the 1965 amateur draft and spent the next 7 years studying medicine and playing minor league baseball. At Interlake High School in Bellevue, Washington, east of Seattle, the junior Olerud played varsity basketball, golf, and baseball for 3 years. As a senior in 1986, he led the Saints to a state high school championship as both a pitcher and a first baseman. So Johnny O could throw the ball, but he elected to play first base, or maybe it was chosen for him. I'm not sure the details. But like his father, he played college baseball for the Washington State University Cougars under Chuck Bobo Brayton, and some say he was one of the greatest college players of his era. As a freshman in 1987, he hit .414 with 5 home runs and 20 runs batted in. And he pitched. He was 8-2 with a 3.00 ERA and was an All-American. Washington State finished third in the 16 West 1 regional of the NCAA tournament. In 1988, check this out. Johnny O hit .464 with 23 home runs, 81 runs batted in, 108 hits, 204 total bases, and an .876 slugging percentage. As a pitcher, he had an undefeated 15-0 season with a 2.49 earned run average with 113 strikeouts. And get this, he was a consensus All-American as both a first baseman and pitcher. It was named Baseball America College Player of the Year. Washington State University again finished third in 16 West 1 regional of the NCAA tournament. Now, in 1989, prior to his junior season, Olerud was running indoors on campus on January 11th when he collapsed. He was hospitalized in Pullman. He was airlifted to Spokane later in the day, accompanied by his father. He was diagnosed with a subarachnoid, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, subarachnoid hemorrhage, which caused bleeding into the spinal column. He remained in the hospital for about 2 weeks after the seizure and lost 15 pounds, but was back in class by the end of January. A few weeks later in Seattle, further examinations revealed a brain aneurysm, and he underwent surgery in February. That's a lot when you're that young. Now, Olerud returned to action for the Cougars in mid-April. He had 359 with 5 homers and 30 runs batted in 78 plate appearances. On the mound, he posted a 3-2 record with 6.68 earned run average. He was a Pac-10 North All-Star, North All-League designated hitter, and from 1989 onward, he wore a batting helmet while on defense. The Cougars again won the Pac-10 North title, but lost the first 2 games of the North Tournament in Bustery, Spokane to end their early 4th-seeded Portland advanced to the NCAA tournament. Well, Portland actually advanced to the tournament, as Washington State did not. Then in June, the Toronto Blue Jays selected him in the 3rd round of the '89 draft, intending to return to the Cougars for his senior season. He played summer ball with the Palouse Empire team in the Alaska League while the Blue Jays renegotiated a contract. He told teams prior to the draft a very large bonus would be necessary for him to forego his senior year in college. And in late August, he signed with Toronto. Now, you have to wonder if John Olerud maybe was not picked higher in the draft because of that brain aneurysm. Because if you looked at his stats, his first 2 years in college were just unbelievable. He was really, really, really good. Now, in his 17-year career through 2005, spanning 2,234 games, Olerud posted a 398 on-base percentage, 500 doubles, 255 home runs, 1,275 walks, 1,408 runs scored, 1,230 runs batted in, and 3,602 times on base. Had 96 sac flies and 157 intentional walks. He was also hit by a pitch 88 times and grounded into 232 double plays during his career. He is also one of only 26 players, I should say, to ever hit for the cycle multiple times in their careers. Defensively in 2053 at first base, he recorded a career .995 fielding percentage. He was a 2-time All-Star and was a member of 2 World Series winning teams with the Blue Jays, 1992 to 1993. Olerud jumped directly to the majors and after a stellar career at Washington State, where he was a pitcher noted for his performance from 1987 to 1989. He had originally intended to return to Washington State for a senior year, but agreed to sign with the Blue Jays only after they promised he would report directly to Toronto. He was known for wearing the batting helmet in the field as a precaution due to suffering that aneurysm at age 20. Now, Olerud broke into the major leagues with Toronto in 1989 without ever playing in the minors. Prior to the '90 season, he was named the number 3 prospect in MLB by Baseball America. He was a platoon by Jays manager Cito Gaston for the first few years of his career until 1992, when he became the team first baseman. In '93, his breakout season, he led the American League in batting average, 363. Intentional walks 33 times, on base 321, on base percentage 473, OPS 1.072, and doubles 54, also a career high, while posting career highs in home runs, runs batted in, runs, and hits. He flirted with a 400 batting average for most of the season, with his average staying higher than 400 as late as August 24th. You guys remember that? That was quite a year he was having. Now, despite putting up solid numbers over the next several years, he failed to meet the high expectations placed upon him during his following his breakout performance in '93. After the '96 season, Olerud was battling veteran Joe Carter and up-and-corner Carlos Delgado for the spot of either first base or designated hitter. Delgado was young, had a bright future, and a low salary, while Gaston preferred Carter to Olerud, feeling the latter wasn't aggressive enough at the plate. Therefore, believe it or not, Olerud was traded along with cash to the New York Mets on December 20th for Robert Person. That was a steal of the deal. You talk about a great, great baseball trade. There's one right there. John Olerud to the Mets for Robert Person. What a deal the Mets pulled off there. Now, with the Mets, he set a team record in 1998 by reaching base at least twice in 12 straight starts. Olerud set team single-season records for batting average 354, OBP 447, and runs created 138 in 1998. He was in the race for a National League batting title until the final day of the season when Larry Walker edged him out with a 363 average. Two great players having two great years. In the 99 campaign, Olerud appeared on the cover of the September 6th issue of Sports Illustrated, along with fellow Met infielders Edgardo Alfonso, Ray Ordonez, and Robin Ventura. The magazine raised the debate as to whether the four talented fielders comprised the best defensive infield in Major League history. He set records for most walks and times on base 309 in a season that following year. He set Met records, I should say. Now, following the 1999 season, Johnny O did return home. He agreed to a 3-year, $20 million contract with the Seattle Mariners. In 2000, he amassed 45 doubles, 102 walks, 10 sac flies, and 11 intentional walks. He was an important part of the Mariners' historic 2001 season, in which they tied the record for most wins in a Major League season with 116. Olerud contributed to the effort with a 401 on-base percentage, 94 walks, 272 times on base, and 19 intentional walks in 159 games. 2002, he recorded a 403 on-base percentage, 39 doubles, 98 walks, 269 times on base, and he led the American League with 12 sacrifice flies. 2003, he collected another 84 walks. Olerud also earned 3 of his Gold Gloves awards while playing for Seattle in 2002 and 2003. So that's where he got his Gold Gloves, the Mariners. And in mid-July 2004, the Mariners were in last place in the American League West Division, and Olerud was designated for assignment. He was just hitting 245 with 5 homers, and trade was attempted but not completed. He was released the following week. Hard to believe, huh? That John Olerud at that point was being released. Now, about after a week of his release, Olerud was signed in early August by the New York Yankees to fill a void at first base by the injury of Jason Giambi. Less than 2 weeks later, the Yankees visited Seattle, played the Mariners. Olerud started the second game on August 14th. His first time up, catcher Don Wilson went to the mound to have a conference with Jamie Moyer. This gave time for about a minute-long standing ovation for Olerud from the Seattle fans. His American League Championship Series was cut short when he was forced to leave due to an injured foot in Game 3. Olerud pinch hit in Game 7, but struck out after a lengthy at-bat against Pedro Martinez, making a rare relief appearance. It was Olerud's last at-bat as a Yankee. Now, on May 2nd, 2005, the Boston Red Sox and Johnny O agreed to terms on a minor league contract. He had been recovering from surgery in November 2004 to repair torn ligaments in his left foot. Now, initially, Olerud reported to the club's spring training complex in Fort Myers, Florida. He was added to Boston's 25-man roster on May 27, and he shared time at first base with Kevin Millar and batting in the middle of the lineup, including several starts in the cleanup spot. Following the 2005 season, Olerud announced his retirement from baseball on December 6th. At the time, his 2,239 career hits represented the 143rd highest total in Major League history. His career on-base percentage of .398 ranked 65th, and his 500 doubles are 44th. 2007, Olerud was inducted to the National College Baseball Hall of Fame, and in 2016, he was named the Pac-12 Player of the Century when the conference released its all-century baseball team. Now, John Olerud was with his wife, Kelly, who was his high school classmate, and their children, one son and one daughter, in the Seattle suburb of Clyde Hill. Another daughter, Jordan, died at age 19 in 2020 from complications of unique chromosomal disorder called trisomy 2P, 5P. Olerud's father, John Olerud, who also played baseball at Washington State. And Olerud is the cousin of retired baseball player. Do you remember this guy, Dale Swain? The John Olerud Two-Way Player of the Year award is named after him, and he was named to the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame class in the year 2000. So that's our overview of Mr. John Olerud. What a career he had. Now, when I ask the question, when I say John Olerud, what is the first thing that pops in your head? We got a lot of good answers. Don Holmstrom said helmet. Maxwell Cates says 363. Brad Roman, OBP. David A. Wilkinson said, class. Flossie Parisi Joe Curcio says, great contact hitter. Ron Davis said, very good first baseman and hitter. Smooth player. Can hit, but not a home run hitter similar to Keith Hernandez. It was power, but not large totals. But can hit for average and great glove at first. Or a helmet like the guy Ricky Henderson once played with. LOL. I guess that's Ricky's famous quote, right? Hey, you're a guy I played with. And it was John Olerud that Ricky Henderson was referring to. Dirk Hackett says, Ricky Henderson, meeting him for the first time, twice. Jonathan Parker, one of the smoother, prettier swings you'll ever see. Alan Robbins said, a real professional hitter. Alan Siegerman says, helmet and Ricky Henderson. Christopher Klein said, smooth. Paul Maini, sweet swing. Mike Cambruzzi wore a batting helmet in the field. Eugene Cassie just shows Morgan Freeman clapping. Eric Doyle says doubles. Ray Biandera, he had such an easy, smooth swing. John Keenan, great hitter and fielder, part of the Mets' best infield ever. Kenneth Wingate, his manager, not liking Olerud because he thought John wasn't aggressive enough to play. Jason Lazote, helmet in the field. Matthew Silberman, guy you want up with the game on the line or on the receiving end of a bad throw. Tom Morris, pure hitter, never took a called strike in 4 years at Washington State. Simon Cloutier, underrated. Jim Dugan, technically proficient hitter. John Paul, underrated ball player. Eric Schmidt, Ricky Henderson. Rick Lagone, that helmet while on defense. Bill Shelton, underappreciated. Stephen Trujillo, check out his junior year at Washington. That says it all. He had 464 with 23 home runs and 81 RBIs. He also pitched a perfect 15-0 record with a 2.49 ERA and 133 strikeouts. Robert Traub says, excellent hitter and fielder and classy guy. Michael Bart, perfect swing. Jim Purcell came in with the best first baseman who ever played the game, incredible hitter and all-time great. Brett Cattell says, college baseball Hall of Famer. Glenn Helsden says, the plate in his head. Mike Proswiak says, wore a helmet in the field. Jesse Clark says, 2001 Seattle Mariners, 116 wins. Johnny O hits for the cycle. What kind of scenario has a hit in the triple? LOL, I don't remember, but I remember he was not quick on the base paths. Ray Hackey says, that helmet he used to wear while playing first base, and a story of how Ricky Henderson, after joining the Mariners, says Olerud, saw Olerud wearing it. Says, I used to have a teammate in Toronto who wore one. It was not really that teammate, was Olerud. Well, there you have it. That's what you guys had to say. And that's what makes the group so great. You guys come in with great comments all the time. And I really appreciate it. One of our Facebook users just came in and said, where's helmet in the field? I'm not sorry. It doesn't say who you are, but I want to thank you for that comment. Quite a few people said that, and we appreciate your comment. Just remember that we do these YouTube casts on a daily basis. We cover whatever topics will pop up in our head from the group. We talk about it. Some of you respond with some feedback, and I appreciate that. And remember, if you want to subscribe to these YouTube casts, just subscribe below where it says Baseball Way of Life, subscribe, and you'll be updated every time one is coming up or one is scheduled, so you can hop on board then. Any comments, reach me at philstan41@gmail.com. If you're not a member of the group Baseball Way of Life, please join the group if you're a Facebook person. We're almost 10,000 strong, and we have so much great content on there every day. Till we speak again, thanks for being part of this John Olerud tribute, and thanks for all your comments about John Olerud. We'll talk soon. Enjoy the day and play ball.